Hey peeps, welcome back to another video. This is the long-awaited Tier 8 BiS list. This is not finalized, and from the Shaman Discord, by the way. So I basically will just tell you about the BiS pieces and maybe some alternatives that you could technically take. Just like Tier 7, there is no absolute BiS. Yes, there's a set that does the most damage, but stuff out of this set might be really hard to obtain. So settling for second or third BiS is still an upgrade and will do more DPS than what you have right now, but obviously less than the absolute BiS set. So let's go through the amazing easy pieces, quote unquote easy pieces you can get first. So first up, we want the Force set. As of right now, the Force set is actually worth taking. So how do we get it? We want the head, we want the shoulders, chest, and the pants. That's our Force set complete. It is basically tier, so if you have tier stuff, you know you don't really play that many hunters and warriors or whatnot, then this is really easy for you to obtain. The next item that's also technically quite easy to get is Bindings of the Winter Gale. It's a male wrist. I don't know if Holy Paladins want this as well. I have no clue if there's a plate alternative. If there is, it's basically in your pockets and it's yours. Grasp of Reason, I mean, it's a cloth one, it's decent, but other classes will want this, and Mutual Respect is still quite decent. For the weapon, we have a mace, yet again, it's Hand of the Ardent Champion. Obviously, Hammer of the Ancient Kings is technically BiS. The raw stats from this are overall better than any other weapon. Obviously, we cannot really utilize the Blessing of Ancient Kings as in the healing, giving someone a shield. If it works on Healing Stream Totem, it's nice. It won't be a big shield, but it will still be a shield. So it can technically be utilized, but the raw stats are making this your BiS weapon. Obviously, getting this will be really hard, so Hand of the Ardent Champion, definitely a good alternative. Really decent stats and has a socket. For the shield, we have Wisdom's Hold. Voice of Reason is still quite decent. As you can see here on the item level as well, Pulsing Spell Shield technically has a bit more stats than Voice of Reason. It has only a 2 item level increase, so the stats are basically about the same. If no one wants this, you can get the Pulsing Spell Shield. I wouldn't get it though, because, you know, the longer you go without getting an item, the higher of a chance that you even get one in most guilds if you're in GDKPs. This goes for like, let's say 1000 gold or whatever, 1500 gold. And your Voice of Reason, I wouldn't even get it. I mean, Wisdom's Hold is just the absolute BiS. It has a socket, really good stats, so this is exactly what you want. For the Relic, there is not really many relics that are decent besides Totem of Hex. I mean, there is Thunderfall Totem, increasing your base damage of Lava Burst. It sims worse, and Totem of Hex is really easily obtainable through the vendor anyway, and you will basically spam Chain, well, you won't spam Chain Lightning, but you will spam Lightning Bolt, and it overall just has more value. For the gloves, we have Pharaoh's Gloves. Those will be really contested just because they're cloth and everyone can wear them. The stats on them are quite amazing. It has 2 sockets as well, but obviously contested. So what can you do? So you can just settle for Gloves of the Whispering Winds. It has 1 less socket. The stats are also quite decent on its male. So basically only you can wear it and maybe Holy Paladin. What you can also get quite easily is the tier hands. The stats on them are also quite decent. As you can see, it has less haste, it has about the same spell power. These are quite nice. It has a socket bonus as well. So this is a really nice alternative. Next up, on the belt. So for the belt, it's very anticlimactic. I mean, Belt with the Fallen Worm, it's male. Hopefully it drops for you. There's not really any alternatives. There's a leather one, but it will probably go to, you know, druids. Then there's the cloth one, which obviously will probably go to cloth wearers. And then there is Blue Belt of Chaos, which is the healing version of the Fallen Worm, basically. It goes to resto shamans. And Sash of the Ancient Power is also quite decent. It has less stats, has haste, so you can get this as well if you want. I'm pretty sure other classes want this because they also need to get to their hit, and they might not wear Dying Curse, so they need the extra hit from this. But if you can grab this with, you know, 2 red jumps in it, it actually is quite nice. For the boots, I mean, it's very awful because there's not really good alternatives. Threads of the False or Oracle are just absolute BiS. It has no spirit on it, which is really nice. The stats on them are amazing. It has 2 sockets as well. Obviously it's cloth, so everyone would want them. The second good ones would be Boots of the Fiery Resolution. It has unfortunately spirit on it, but it has 2 sockets, has nice haste and spell power. The Starlight Threads have crit instead of haste, so we don't really want them. The male alternative that we can use is plain Walker Threads. It has 98 spell power, mana per 5, and crit. Unfortunately, I mean, we don't want mana per 5, and crit is not that important for us. So these are not that great. If you have Footsteps of Nalagoth, actually, they're still quite nice. So I would just get either of these 2. And for the rings, obviously everyone can wear rings. Everyone wants these because they're just the caster rings. If you can get either of those, it would be really nice. They're just really good with the stats and the socket bonus. So, you know, the Nebula Band and the Conductive Seal. The Pyrelight Circle is also quite decent. It has no socket. It's about the same as Signet of Manifested Pain. This Pyrelight one has a few more stats. Like it's a little better than Signet of Manifested Pain. But if you have Signet of Manifested Pain, I wouldn't get Pyrelight Circle. I would just, you know, get one of these if possible, and then just rock it with a Signet of Manifested Pain. And that's it. And then upgrade the Manifested Pain one to the other BiS ring if possible. So for the trinkets, it's very boring. We have Flare of Heavens and Dying Curse. The reason being, Dying Curse gives hit, which is really nice, but the proc is 765 spell power. Dying Curse is quite easy to get because there's multiple bosses that can drop it in Nax. Our guild at least has seen like 12 of them, so I hope you guys have it too. Living Flame is technically a good alternative. It gives you less spell power than Dying Curse, and the reason why we want Flare of Heavens and Dying Curse is because these just give the most spell power when they proc, with Lightweave Embroidery and stuff like that. The issue being is when they proc. So Living Flame gives you less spell power, but it's on demand. So if you click it, you get it. So if Flare procs and you can click Living Flame, that's a big fire elemental. If Flare procs, but Dying Curse doesn't proc, it's shit, and the fire elemental is still quote-unquote big, but not as big as it can be. So Living Flame is technically, in a way, worse and better. It depends on your luck, really. So Dying Curse and Flare of Heavens is what you want. Dying Curse is just amazing overall. Like I said, it gives hit, it has really nice spell power, it's easy to obtain. I think the way they changed it is that 10-man will drop 25-man loot, so I guess Dying Curse will be really easy to get. So there's not really a reason to not have this, especially if you can run 10-mans. And the 10-man should be even runnable as like 6 or 7 people only. You don't even need 10.